Hello, 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 hello. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for coming to hang out with me here at Chatting with Tracy, where we peel that onion layer by layer. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. And I'm glad you guys are just here hanging out with me. I got some uh, good stuff, a hot topic, and I just really want to deal with it. And the title of that topic is Don't Hurt the Babies. Please don't hurt the babies. Don't hurt the babies. And did a little research on the effects of absent parents and parental rejection and things of that nature. And I came up with some great stuff, stuff that we take for granted, stuff that we should know because we see the effects of it, but we really don't know what the studies have shown concerning these areas. But here we go. Thanks to a study done by Ronald Rohner, where he carried out a study of over 36 studies on the effects of parental rejection. He studied about 10,000 participants. So he did some in-depth studying, a lot of research. Studies show that the same part of the brain that activates when a person is experiencing physical pain is the same part of the brain that activates when a child feels rejection. Bet you didn't know that. Absolutely. So when you're rejecting your child, it's the same as you physically hurting them. Rejection is worse than emotional pain for people. Psychologically, they relive the emotional pain of rejection for many years. I know that to be true. Parental rejection for children is said to cause children to become more anxious and insecure. And they also experience low self-esteem, self-doubt, and depression. These children develop hostility and aggression towards others. All of these traits linger into adulthood. Yep, they carry it into their adult life. And they find it difficult to form trusting and secure relationships as adults too. So it's really in depth the pain that's caused by rejection. These studies have revealed that the psychological effects of rejection by fathers hold even more weight. So fathers, your children need you, and I know that sometimes it's difficult, but your children still need you to be there and not just pass by, not just a quick sandwich at a restaurant and then you pick them up and drop them off. That ain't what we're talking about. We're talking about spending some time with your children. The studies have shown that the psychological effects of rejection by your fathers hold a heavy weight. And don't forget to like and share and subscribe to my video, please. But men need to understand that their love is just as important as motherly love. And women, you got to move out the way. You really do. You got to move out the way because children need balance and they need their fathers too. Children need their fathers. When you refuse to allow a child to see his or her father, you create all type of voids for that child. So I'm begging that you move out the way. Don't hurt that baby, please, because you're hurting your children. You think you're winning something by keeping the father from seeing his children. In all essence, you're hurting your babies. It is just as important for a man to be around his children as it is for a mother to be around her children or a woman to be around her children. Most times men are not around their children unintentionally. They get busy, they're working or what have you. And even with that, children experience the feelings of rejection when you aren't spending time with them. They don't want to hear nothing about, oh, you working and you ain't got time. You got to work your job. I see men who work jobs and they still make time to spend quality time with their children. So I would urge you, men, whatever it takes, take out the time, make the sacrifice. Children grow up so fast, they really, really need you. Fight. Whatever you got to do. Don't physically fight. Get you an attorney, you fight to make certain that you can spend quality time with your children. It's worth the fight. Fathers who cause a lot of anxiety with children are like those fathers that come around and they just want to give you correction. They ain't seeing you in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And when they come around, they want to tell you what's wrong with you. You're doing this wrong, that's wrong with you, and fix your clothes, and why you look like that, and why da. No. If you know that your relationship is strained with your children, be cool. Don't come around with this disciplinarian thing. Balance. Balance is needed. So they not only need discipline, but they need affection as well. You too busy, but you ain't too busy to come around and discipline. How about you come around, spend time, get to know the babies, discipline them when you see that they're out of line, and give them a overload of affection. Don't just come around to discipline. And the children, as they mature, they'll identify the excuses that you make for why you couldn't spend time with them. And they will denounce those excuses because ain't none of them good enough. They don't care nothing about your car being broke down. They don't care nothing about you had to work. They don't care nothing about none of that. They want to see they daddy. And just think about it. Children have things at school where fathers are present. Is your child one of those children where there's never a father there to accompany her to any of those events? Are you always too busy? Okay, I'm going to get up off of you. Because I know sometimes there are extenuating circumstances as to why it is you haven't been around your baby. All right. But let's deal with this. Let's deal with the disgruntled mother. Yikes. The old disgruntled mother. Women, if you don't hear anything else that I say, I truly hope that you hear this. Children who grow up without their fathers suffer in so many different ways. They suffer academically. They experience trauma emotionally. They have feelings of self-doubt. They wonder why. I saw this. They used to have this commercial that, I don't know if it was on television or if it was on Facebook. I think it was on Facebook, where the little boy, he was sitting in the bleachers with his mama. And he said, "Mama, do you think Daddy would come around if he knew I was good at baseball?" He wanted to know where his daddy was. He wanted to please his daddy, even in his daddy's absence. He was wondering, maybe if my daddy thought highly of me and being good at this thing, maybe he would want to be around me. I know that to be true. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. I know because I too felt the absence of my father. I wondered, why? Why he don't want to be around me? What's wrong with me? My brother had his father around, and he would make little jokes, as we were siblings, young children. Young children could be cruel. They'll tell you ain't got no daddy, and stuff like that. So I really dealt with some things with not having a father there. Women, it is very selfish. It's a very selfish move for you to not allow children to be around their fathers. I don't care that he's not paying child support, because this is an issue that's larger than child support. We're talking about the rest of your children's lives and how they will be nurtured and cared for outside of just the money, because it don't take just money. Because I've seen women getting down, they buying Jordans and the this and the that and the this and the that. And the children still come out with some issues. They need it. The mothers need the fathers to be involved. And then let's deal with accountability. If we want to keep it all the way real, mother, you chose that man. You chose to lay down with that man. You didn't vet that man before you had a baby with him. So it's now your responsibility to endure and to sacrifice and make certain that your children, if the father wants to be around, you give him that opportunity and you let them have that relationship. Where was I? The damages that are caused by the absence of a father include depression, especially in our girls. I have to be transparent here. I've dealt with depression, and it was real. And depression is no joke. The feeling of rejection is real. It's no joke. It'll have you bumping your head, going from man to man, wanting somebody to love you. You could do all you can to be pleasing to the man. You could cook, take care of him, do everything for him, wanting him to love you. And you pushing yourself on him, and he may not love you. So I would ask that you put yourself to the side and just love your children enough to sacrifice and allow your children to know their biological fathers. If the biological father is not around and you decide to deal with a surrogate or a replacement father, I would beg that you vet him, and you vet him hard, and make certain that he is not a man who will come in and abuse your children. They're already dealing with rejection. So he has to ease into that thing when it comes to disciplining them and judgment of them and all that kind of stuff. Man, I experienced some things that was so crazy. It was real tripped out. And I'm going to tell you, you need to vet the people who you put over your children and make certain for a while, you need to know them for a while outside of being in your household, that they are worthy to be put over your children, that they will take that honor of being put in a position to help you raise your children and deal with it as it is an honor and not a burden. Because if he thinks it's a burden, he don't need to be doing it. Because you want somebody to father your children with love, care, and concern and patience. And allow your children to be children and to be human. Not perfect, mechanical things, but human. Me, myself, in dealing with depression and abandonment, my situation was so bad that, when I went to school, I had to study psychology. I'm a psych major. I didn't graduate, but I tell you what, I mastered psychology. No problem. Because I needed to know. I wanted to know what was going on and what was wrong. Did I get all the answers? Maybe not. I got a lot of theory. But I do know one thing. You got to deal with those issues. And you have to acknowledge them. How can you acknowledge an issue if you don't deal with it? You got to deal with it. Men, you spending time with your children is a choice. It's a choice. Just like the women, you chose that woman. And you made a baby with her. Now the baby is here, and it's your responsibility and no one else's to ensure that you help her raise that child, not by dropping off an envelope or dropping off of this or dropping off of that. That ain't all it is. Spending meaningful time with your children is a real necessity. It's a great investment. Do it. They will love you. And some mothers, I know, they do make it very difficult for you to be around your children. But it's worth the fight. Fight for your children. Fight to be in your children's lives. And don't take the fight for granted and get it in court and get the visitation. And then when it's your visitation time, you don't come around. Don't make it an option. Make it a necessity to make certain that you be there and see your children. They will definitely appreciate it. I wish I had known my father. I wish I had her. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my videos here at Chatting with Tracy. You know, we strive to help heal our communities by opening up a dialogue for those hard topics, peeling back that onion, layer by layer. Fathers, I would prompt you, if you're having problems with getting a woman to cooperate and allow you to see your children, I ask that you not fight with her physically and make matters worse, but fight through the court system. Do your best, get you a job so that you could help provide for the children. But absent provision, if you don't have the money, you still have a right to know your children, you know, until you find another job and put yourself in a position where you could provide. So I took the time to try to find a few resources to try to help you. Some resources are free, pro bono, where, you know, you can get an attorney to help you for free to fight for your children. You need that regular parenting time with your child. You know, I heard of a guy taking the time to spend time with his children, and I was kind of in awe, like, wow, you stopped everything that you was doing to spend time with your children. I'm super impressed. Super impressed. You know, and people say things like, you know, oh, he just doing what he's supposed to do. But look, let's not take it for granted, because not all fathers are doing it. You know, not all men are taking the time out, and not all women are making the children even available for this time. So this topic definitely needs some work, because if we have stronger children, we have stronger communities. You know, these children are taking a hit emotionally, academically, you know, socially. Let's mend that thing. Let's close that gap and help the children by doing our part. So here we are. We got the Father's Right Attorney at 312-651-6923. The Father's Right Attorney, 312-651-6923. And we have www.dadsrights.com. www.dadsrights.com. And we have www.themarbleway.com. MARBLWAY, themarbleway.com. And also www.sterlinglawyers.com, like sterling silver, STERLING, lawyers, LAWYERS.com. We got some pro bono options as well, you know, free, where they help you, give you guidance. We got www.lawinfopedia.com, LAWINFOPEDIA.com, and www.thumbtack.com, THUMBTACK.com. Well, I'm glad that we had this time to spend with one another. Don't hurt the babies. Please, please, please. We want to be advocates for our children. We want to work on reinventing or going back to good principles and morals, find our moral compass and stay with it. Do better and expect better. Give it all you got to try to get the right results. Thanks for coming out, hanging out with me, not literally coming out, but hanging out with me here at Chatting with Tracy. And again, the title of this message was Don't Hurt the Babies. I look forward to hanging out with you again, dealing with some great content. I got content. And I know a lot of it was birthed out of my own personal experiences and or hurts. And I just want to share the message, and if at all, bring about some change. If not everybody, maybe one somebody. Anyway, thanks for coming to hang out with me. See you soon at Chatting with Tracy. Take care.